Hello and welcome to Blytheway Business News. Today we're joined by Fernando Porcile, who is the chairman of Los Andes Copper. Fernando, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Can you start by giving us an overview of Los Andes and what it is that you do?
Los Andes Copper is a company that is registered in the Toronto Stock Exchange, and our only asset is the Vizcachitas project located in central Chile. This is a copper, porphyry copper, with a very clean ore that we can produce, and we are trying to design a new copper development in that area. Vizcachita has some very important characteristic. It's a large ore body that will be over 1.2 billion tons of ore that can allow us to develop a project for more than 30 years of life. Also, it's located in an area that has several advantages, and we can develop this project with low initial investment capital because we have a lot of infrastructure available in the area. We are at a low elevation, about 2,000 meters, that for copper development in that part of the world is low. And also we have very clean ore. We don't have mainly any detrimental impurities that make the project quite competitive.
That sounds very promising. And can you tell us about the team that you have working on this project?
We have, Los Andes Copper was mainly an exploration company, and since mid last year we were converted to develop a company that will be able to develop the project. So we have assembled a team with experienced people to be able to manage the development of the project. And we are in a stage where we are defining the mining plan, the flow sheets, the infrastructure required to develop the project, and also to do all the environmental work required to get an approval of the project. So our idea is to complete the pre-feasibility study by the end of next year, and by the second quarter of next year we are going to have very well advanced all the engineering required to do that. We think that the project will be very competitive. The original PEA show us that a treatment capacity of around 100,000 tons of ore per day will be very competitive in the present conditions of the copper market that is foreseen in the next few years.
And you mentioned earlier an updated PEA. Can you tell us about the outcome of this study?
The outcome of the PEA, of course, one of the most important part of the PEA is the resources and the reserves. And then there is an economical preliminary evaluation of the project that looks very attractive. In the PEA, there were analyzed 3 different sizes, and the most attractive development is for an operation that should be processing about 100,000 tons per day. And this is what we are doing right now. And the numbers that came out of that PEA is that we can develop a project that will be below 2 billion of investment, with a low operating cost and with a very high return and payout period.
So what are the next steps for this project?
The next step is, as I said before, to develop the pre-feasibility, establish very well the mining plan, establish the flow sheet of the operation of the company, and defines all the infrastructure that we have to develop for the project. So we expect that in the first term of, or the first quarter of next year, to have a preliminary evaluation so that we can do really some basic engineering to have the pre-feasibility completed by the end of the year.
And other than that, what else can we expect from you next year?
Next year, we expect to develop and prepare all the information so that we can be able to present sometime by the end of next year or early following year the environmental impact study for approval. That's a very critical thing, but you have to have very well defined what you are going to do, because with Chilean legislation, it's very difficult to change things once you have defined. Right. And you have to make some commitments and public reviews of the project and so on and so forth. So that's a very important thing.
Of course, becoming more topical every day.
Yes.
Fernando, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for joining us on Blytheway Business News, and join us next time for more news.